So yeah, I've kind of been jumping around here, but
No, we're pretty much on track with the questions there. So,
right, right.
hmm
So I know we
excuse me.
kind of jumped into, talking about your college experience really briefly, but have you had any experience on college campus, like your college campus, where, left-wing ideas were pushed onto you or other students?
Okay, so my college experience, I did go to a liberal arts college. I took a major in visual art and a minor in theater. So I am
Okay.
full epitome of an artist, right? So that's what I took
Right,
my degree in. I did so because I have a talent for it. You can see in the
right.
background here.
Of course, yeah. Understood.
And my parents loved me enough and they were supportive enough to actually push me in that direction. A lot of parents want to do that because, as we all know, the arts is not always a guarantee in financial stability. So I went to a liberal arts college. Now, I didn't feel like I was being force fed liberal ideas. Maybe it's because, I was a liberal and pro feminist, because all my girlfriends were. So I didn't feel like I was being forced into anything because I signed up for the classes myself, right? So I
Right.
did it willingly, right? So, but I feel like I'm part of that age group because I'm in my 30s. I'm part of that age group that even though some of us went to liberal arts colleges, we kind of escaped that. I feel like I dodged a bullet by getting out of there and graduating, and then seeing where the college scene is now, them creating safe spaces and videos with puppy dogs and Play-Doh just because somebody disagrees with you, or silencing white people. There was an article where a teacher was forcing white males to speak last in an open discussion. And I'm like, no, but we're doing it to help the people of color. We're doing to help black people and disabled people. I'm like, no, a lot of discussion involvement involves people just speaking up, and that shouldn't have anything to do with your skin color, right, or your sexuality
Right.
or anything
Right.
like that. There's a lot of people who actually don't develop proper social skills, I don't think. And a lot of people will just sit by and listen while another more confident person will actually engage with the professor. I used to engage a lot with my professors, a lot. I love to talk, clearly, and my mom calls it diarrhea of the mouth. I don't know when to shut up, apparently. So a perfect example is that I remember taking a women's studies course where the teacher, she was a lesbian. She was very smart, very nice. Out of everybody there, the classroom, there was only three guys, myself and two other men. The other two men barely spoke at all. Okay, and here's me. I was more effeminate, a metrosexual, I think the term was at that time. And I engaged with her constantly on all these topics about how we see women in sports, how we see women in politics, the roles of men and women. We also tied in with traditional gender roles, stuff like that. So I engaged with her, and she loved it. She told me afterwards, she's like, I love you talking with me about this because we need a male perspective. So I think she was very even based with the women's studies aspect. It wasn't as crazy back then, but
Okay.
again, like I said, I think I got out of it just in time because now it's way over the top.
Right. Right.
Hmm
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, you kind of did start saying that in the beginning. I probably should have rephrased my question too. But uh, yeah. Currently being, in college,
hmm
I myself, um, I actually am in the middle of transferring. So
Oh,
I actually I did attend a very, very liberal
college.
campus
Okay.
um, in the area. So uh, my experiences there were quite different from where I am now.
Okay.
Right now I'm at a junior college trying to transfer. So junior college isn't really a place where you're really, you just go to class and you come back home. It's not really uh, a place where you socialize, and
Oh, okay.
there are clubs and stuff, but
Yeah.
the university that I attended was very left wing, and we even had we had a STEM club for women. There was like a regular STEM club, and then there was a women only STEM club.
Of course.
Uh,
Equality. Mm-hmm.
So there are things like that, and we had there was it was a strike to um, open a black only um, residence hall.
Really?
Um, and and there were all sorts of other requirements to be met, like making the color of the building representative of
the people there.
Yeah, and
wow.
Kind of their I don't know, their flag or their just their theme colors,
like their sigil or their logo or something like that.
Right, and they blocked traffic to and from school. They occupied a couple of very important buildings.
So you
were held.
You were part of one of those colleges.
Yes.
Wow.
And it didn't really make news. Made local news, didn't make national news. So I'll admit it wasn't as big as Evergreen Valley or when Milo attended Berkeley.
Yeah.
But it's up there for at least personally. So
still you're experiencing it. You're seeing, like, it's different when you see it online or in an article versus seeing it right at your doorstep.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, definitely. So yeah, and that was actually one of the reasons that made me leave this campus and why I'm transferring.
Okay.
I mean, there were other reasons. Like I didn't really feel like I fit in there.
Yeah.
And I just I thought that I could have made a better decision when I was choosing colleges, and I regretted it quite a lot. So.
It's interesting because when you first go to college, it's all the excitement, hubbub, right? And obviously you're getting on your own 2 feet, right? You're standing on your own ground. It's not until like the 3rd or 4th year, depending on your program, where you're like, oh, well, maybe I shouldn't have taken that arts class, or maybe this degree isn't really for me because I feel like I'm wasting my time. And then by the 4th year or 5th year, you're so exhausted and you're so over it. You're just like, I don't care what my grades are. Just give me the degree so I can leave this fucking hellhole. That was me. I was so done with my 4th year. I'm like, I'm done. Like, I just want to go. Give me my paper, sign it. I'll wear the stupid fucking hat and let me go.
I'm already feeling that. Yeah. So I mean, that's not necessarily the best attitude for me to keep, because I'm still, in the middle of it. But
well, you're still quite young though, because you're 20, right? 2021.
Yeah, I'm 21. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm literally a decade older than you. So don't worry, you're young still.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate
Not to
that.
sound old, but you are.
Right. So, so what made you realize that kind of enough was enough and you had to, I think you kind of answered this one already, but like, was there any specific, instance where you kind of just were like, no, this is the last straw kind of?
Well, I think you're right. I did answer that question, at least in regards to the larger picture of it. So I'm going to answer this in a personal take on it. So sure. I realized that enough was enough when I had friends that I supported and hung out with in college. A lot of them were female friends. They were feminists, and I didn't call myself a feminist, but I was definitely a supporter of feminism because obviously I cared about my girlfriends. I wanted them to be happy and I wanted them to be equal. It was a few years after we had all graduated and, we go our separate ways. We start living our own lives, but we're still friends. We get together. There was one instance where I was having a conversation online with about 3 or 4 of my girlfriends. We were talking about male circumcision, the high suicide rate in men, and how men are unfairly treated in court. So I was talking about this because I was interested. This is when I was finally kind of noticing the shit that was happening towards men versus women. Now, what really was enough is enough is how my friends were telling me that I couldn't speak in this manner. I couldn't say certain words. And I'm like, what are you talking about? there had been, I can't remember the word exactly, but they got mad at me for referring to this one word. And I was like, I've used this word 20 times. And we've been going back and forth for hours in this discussion. And I was like, I've used this word before. Why now are you trying to force me not to use it? Like, I didn't get it. And then it kind of hit me. I'm like, they're trying to silence me or trying to control the conversation. And here I was, I'm like, I'm just concerned about the hardships that men face. And you're telling me that I can't talk about it? Like, I'm a man. Like, another personal thing, I am circumcised. Okay. And I never really thought anything about it, but now I support parents not cutting up their boys or their daughters. You know, no baby should be cut up. That is my stance. And so I was talking about how there's men who feel traumatized by their circumcisions, and we have infant baby deaths because of certain botched circumcisions. So I'm talking about this stuff, and I'm like, this is very real stuff. And you're telling me I can't talk about it?
Wow. So, yeah.
So, no, it was my enough was enough moment was when my friends of over a decade were trying to silence me on things that I felt were important, even though, like, I've supported them throughout those years. It's almost a selfish way of looking at it, because I wanted them to support my concerns, but they never did. So in a way, I was betrayed.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I hope, some of them, look past politics and, genuinely wanted to maintain friendship with you.
Well, some of them have. Those women that were in that conversation blocked me. A few of our mutual girlfriends just blocked me right away. They didn't even ask me how I was doing. Like, what's wrong, JC? What's wrong? No, they didn't. They just blocked me. So that, to me, the hardest part wasn't what they were trying to do. The hardest part was realizing that I don't think they were really my friends. Because friends stick it out with you. They love you despite your ideas, right? Despite what you believe in,
Yeah.
So.
And I definitely, you hear a lot of people, talk about how their friendships, especially roaming millennial, she talks a lot about her friends and how her friends, they're the exact opposite side of the political spectrum. And I think it's important to have, but it's good that you got rid of them before.
Well, they got rid of me, essentially.
Yeah.
Because I don't believe in blocking friends. I don't believe in like on Facebook and social media. I don't do that. Yeah. I just don't. There's some of my friends that I want to strangle sometimes, but they're still my friends. Right.
That's important to acknowledge. Yeah. It wasn't you. It was them. Yes.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. And I mean, I can't really.
Yeah, what are you going to do? People make their own choices in life, and we are all adults, and they made a big person adult choice. So.
Okay, so where would you like your channel to head? So what are kind of like your next steps for where you would like to go with this?
I would hope that one day my YouTube channel will allow me to become president of Canada. No, I'm just joking. We don't have presidents here. We just have a prime minister.
Yeah, that's the first thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the first. World domination. That's what I want. World domination under my rule of thumb. No, seriously though. To be honest, I started this just to get my voice out. I wasn't expecting a lot of feedback or a lot of subscribers, only because I am a white male, and usually in these kind of things, white men don't get listened to. I've had some people comment on my videos to be like, oh, just another white guy who thinks he has opinion. So I'm like, okay, well, this video is not for you. This video is for other people, let's say the demographic of white people who are fed up like me, minority groups that are in the LGBT who are not leftist. They are more conservative. There's actually a lot of conservative gays out there, but none of them come forward because the left gays will silence them. I've been silenced by some of my gay friends for having these views, and I'm just like, guys, why are you shitting on straight people? Like, it's because of straight people that you exist. So Like
Oh, yeah,
you should
that's
show a little bit of respect, right? But and then block, delete, unfriend, like. So what I would like with my channel is I do want a little bit of comedy, a little bit of entertainment value, because people are drawn in with entertainment, but I do want it to have an intellectual basis, I guess. So stuff that is led by common sense, stuff that is led by logic. Every time I make a video, I do try and research the topic and find out main sources, people's commentaries, and like actual things that people have said. And then I tackle what they say. So I do want it to be entertaining, but factually accurate.
okay. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds great. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope to. I do have a very busy schedule. I'm not really watching anyone at the moment.
Yeah, me too. I have laundry on the go right now, and that's been like 2 weeks. 2 weeks of laundry. That's how busy I've been.
Yeah.
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 Like, I'm not joking when I say in my videos that, like, I'm working overtime and I work 2 jobs, so.
Wow.
Yeah.
That must be stressful. Yeah.
It's the work itself is not stressful. It's easy. It's the higher management that's stressful.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll just leave it there.
All right. Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So yeah, that's been it. If you'd like to, talk about anything else, I'd be down to.
Well, did you want to talk more about is it Verdant? Or how do you pronounce it? Verdant Media?
Vedant.
Sorry.
Yeah. Vedant.
So, if you don't mind answering that question, what made you choose that name, and what's your affiliation? What do you hope to do with your media there?
Well, that's my last name, so
Okay, cool.
Vedant. Yeah. So I hope to form once, maybe once I actually transfer in, and once I kind of get settled down with all of my, my educational situation and all of that, I hope to really, to really plan this out and try to, because it's honestly something, not just from a political point of view, to make sure that there are more voices heard.
Yes.
From the more the more center right wing.
Yeah.
But it's also something that I want to do. I find myself always starting things, never finishing them.
Yeah.
From almost everything I've done.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to do this and try to be successful in some way. Just try to finish something with this, and I think it's a great way to express yourself.
Yep. Oh yeah, totally.
Truly, and kind of see the results of your work.
Easily. Yeah, I can see that too. Because this is your personal thing, and you're putting yourself into it, so it's your project, right? Same as my channel is my project, same as Roaming Millennial or Hunter Avalon or Sargon of Akkad. All these people are putting themselves out there, getting their views out, and I think it is a good thing when we have more minorities who are more right wing or centrist getting their ideas out as well. Because if we don't do this, then the whole narrative is going to be one narrative.
Exactly.
Right? And there's no room to progress. Not real, like no real progression, no real learning, no real nothing if you just have a one-sided conversation. Mm-hmm. I think they call that an echo chamber. So.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But yeah, no, that's good. That's cool. Well, yeah, if you ever want to do another interview, or I don't know if you podcast or anything like that, I'd love to do that with you in the future if you want. We could have more focused topics, if you will. Current events and all that stuff. So. Yeah,
I apologize. This was kind of all over the place.
No. I think I actually went into this expecting the questions were great. I love the questions. I think you came into here wanting to just kind of interview me and more of my personal channel thing, which is good. We should always get one of those out of the way.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
and then we can tackle, more, specifics of certain topics of the world. So
Right.
later on.
Great. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. I'd definitely be down. I just wanted to, this is also part of, that whole starting something and finishing it. Like we've been going, on with this for like since April, and
I
I'm
know,
only
I
kind
know.
of arranging this
Just
now.
trying to get together, and then of
So
course the
this
first
is
time we attempted, there was technical difficulties. So
right on my
yeah,
yeah.
I
That
know how
was
that is. Trust me.
yeah. So yeah, definitely. I'd definitely be interested in doing one of these again in the future.
Yep.
So yeah, thank you very much, JC. This was great. Yeah, it's a new experience for me. So yeah, definitely appreciate it.
Well,
Yeah,
thanks for the interview. Thanks for coming forward to have this interview with me. I appreciate it. So
for sure. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Take care. All right.
bye.